Hey YouTube, this is Edward Underhill and I'm here with a video review for you guys. Back when I did my channel update in October, I said that you guys could request DVD reviews for any WWE pay-per-views, documentaries, match compilations, what have you. And I got a request from one of my subscribers to review the DVD of WrestleMania 30, which I was more than happy to do. It was just a matter of finding the time to sit down and actually watch it. And I got done watching it a couple of hours ago, so I'm going to review it for you guys. I would say of the 9 WrestleManias that I've watched so far on pay-per-view, that this is probably my second favorite. 31 would probably be my all-time favorite, and this would be a very close number 2. But this took place on April 6, 2014 at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. And we're just going to get right into it. Sorry about that. The first match we'll talk about was the pre-show match, which was the Fatal 4-Way Elimination Tag Team match for the Tag Team titles between the Usos, who were the champions, versus Curtis Axel and Ryback, Los Matadores, and Jack Swagger and Cesaro, who were the Real Americans. Pretty good match here. The Usos won when they last beat Swagger and Cesaro when they... The Usos hit Cesaro with a big splash from the top rope, and then one of them pinned him to get the win and retain the belts. And then after the match, Swagger attacked Cesaro from behind, but Cesaro was able to fight back and gave Swagger the giant swing. So it was a pretty good match there. Then we had, the show started off with Hulk Hogan, who was the guest host of the event, coming out and addressing the crowd, and he did that infamous botch when he called it the Silverdome instead of the Superdome, which was hilarious. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out and confronts Hogan and cuts a promo in the crowd. And then The Rock comes out and confronts Hogan and Austin and cuts a promo, which is great. And then the three of them shared a beer and toasted in the middle of the ring, which was awesome. But the first match of the night was Triple H versus Daniel Bryan. And the winner was going to be entered into the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match later on in the evening. And this is back when Triple H was doing everything he could to prevent Daniel Bryan from being the face of the WWE, because Daniel Bryan was very popular at the time. And Daniel Bryan had finally had enough, and he challenged Triple H to a match at WrestleMania multiple times. And Triple H kept refusing to have the match, and then Daniel did the whole Occupy Raw moment with the Yes movement, and Triple H finally accepted, with the caveat being whoever won was going to be entered into the main event later on in the evening. And this was a really good match. Daniel Bryan had his left shoulder heavily bandaged because Triple H had attacked him on Raw several weeks earlier, but nevertheless it was still a really good match. There was a lot of technical wrestling as well as some really cool high spots from Bryan, but the match ended when Daniel Bryan won and countered, I think it was a suplex from Triple H into the running knee, and then pinned him to win the match and advance to the main event later on in the evening. But Triple H and Stephanie, who was with Triple H at ringside, attacked Daniel Bryan from behind after the match and hit him with the steel chair into the ring post and smashed his shoulder up pretty badly. So you knew Triple H was not done for the evening, which we'll get to later on. But a really good match to open the show. Definitely, for my money's worth, the best match of the night. Then we had the 6-man tag team match between the Shield, which was Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns, versus Kane and the New Age Outlaws. This was an okay match. There wasn't really a whole lot to it because it was only 3 or 4 minutes long. But there were some cool spots like Seth and Dean doing the missile dive through the ropes, and Roman Reigns spearing people all over the place. But it ended when the Shield hit the Outlaws with the triple power bomb, and then Seth pinned, I want to say Billy Gunn, to get the win for his team. But it was a pretty cool win, pretty cool moment to see the Shield win. But it was only a 3 or 4 minute segment, so it wasn't that long. Then we had the 31-man Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which was pretty cool, pretty good. There was a cool moment though, where Kofi got thrown over the top rope, but his feet landed on the ring steps instead of the floor, so he wasn't eliminated, so he was still in the match. But The match ended when Cesaro picked up the Big Show and lifted him over the top rope, which was pretty impressive to get the win. And Cesaro was the first Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner, because this was the first time they did that. Then we had John Cena versus Bray Wyatt with the Erick, Rowan, and Luke Harper at ringside. This was a pretty good match also. I like the psychology of the match, of Bray trying to get Cena to give into his anger, but Cena just refused, and he took out Rowan and Harper at various points in the match. But it was a really good match, and then Cena won when I believe he countered the Sister Abigail into an attitude adjustment to get the win, which was fine. I would have preferred to see Bray win, but I understood the whole storyline of Cena wanting to protect his legacy, so it was okay to see him win, although I would have preferred to see Bray win. But it was still a really good match. Then we had the Hall of Fame induction ceremony highlights, and this year's Hall of Fame class was awesome. You had Lita, Razor Ramon, Paul Bearer, Jake the Snake Roberts, Mr. T, Carlos Colon, and the Ultimate Warrior getting inducted, which, rest in peace to the Ultimate Warrior, we still miss you. But the highlights were really cool. Then we had the infamous match between The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, of course, had Paul Heyman with him at ringside. And this was a decent match, in my opinion. Not as good as the matches they would have later on in 2015, but it was still a decent match. Undertaker got a concussion fairly early on in the match, as most people probably know by now. But they kept going. It was a very slow paced match. However, Lesnar won when he countered the second Tombstone Piledriver into a third F5. He hit Undertaker with it. Then the ref counts 1, 2, 3, and the streak is broken. Undertaker's 21-1. And I would have preferred to see Undertaker retire with the streak intact, but it's something we got to live with. But it was still an okay match for what it was, and I do think that Undertaker will have his last match at WrestleMania 33 against who, I don't know at this point, but I'm predicting it's going to be Cena. But then we had the announcement for WrestleMania 31, which took place at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California in 2015. Then we had the Vickie Guerrero's Divas Championship Invitational. This was, again, an okay segment. There were some cool spots in it, though, like the Bellas doing the missile dive through the ropes, and Natalya did some cool stuff in it as well. But AJ Lee won and retained the championship when she made Naomi tap out to the Black Widow. But it was an okay segment. Then, last but not least, we had the main event, which was the triple threat match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Before that, we also had a segment backstage with Mean Gene Okerlund, Hulk Hogan, Mr. T, Roddy Piper, and Paul Orndorff, which was hilarious. Just the four men having a conversation with Mean Gene in the middle, which was great. But going on to the main event, you had Randy Orton, who was the champion, Batista, who was the 2014 Royal Rumble winner, and Daniel Bryan, who was the winner of the match with Triple H earlier in the night to get into the main event. And this match was great. Definitely, in my opinion, the second best match of the night. There were some really cool spots in the match. Of course, the crowd booed every time Randy Orton and Batista went at it, and they cheered every time Daniel Bryan was involved. Halfway through the match, Triple H and Stephanie came out with Scott Armstrong. They tried to interfere in the match. However, Daniel Bryan fought them off, and after Daniel took out Triple H, Randy Orton and Batista were on him like a pack of dogs. They ripped the bandage off his shoulder. They hit him with the steel steps, the ring monitors, and then they hit him with the Batista bomb into the RKO through the announce table, which looked like it hurt Orton as well. But as Daniel Bryan was getting carted out of the ring on the stretcher, he fought off the EMTs. He took the neck brace that was on him off, all that stuff. He got back in the match. The guys kept going at it for another few minutes, and then Daniel Bryan hit Batista with the running knee and put him in the yes lock. and Batista tapped out, and Daniel Bryan won the match and won his what would be his fourth and final World Championship. And it was just a great moment. The crowd went nuts. They had the confetti falling from the ceiling. You had the pyro going off. It was amazing. You had Daniel Bryan in the ring with the 2 belts. You had the crowd doing the yes chant. It was amazing. It was just great to see Daniel Bryan, after all that time of getting screwed over by Triple H, finally having his moment in the ring. It was great. And it was a great way to end the show. Overall, as I said earlier, my second favorite WrestleMania of the 9 that I've watched. Actually, I'd say more so this and 31 are tied for my favorite, but it's a very close second for sure. But a great show overall. Definitely one I would recommend watching if you haven't seen it. But that'll do it for my review, guys. There are also some cool extras on here, like the Hall of Fame ceremony, the top 30 greatest WrestleMania moments, some video packages, interviews, and other cool stuff. But I would definitely recommend picking this up if you haven't seen it. So thank you guys for watching the video. Be sure to like, comment, rate, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.